Yeah. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Reaction Time with Dave. I got a special guest with me here today. Uh, it's my little Poochie. It's King. He's kind of laid up right now. Uh, he'll be more alert in the show, I believe. I'm gonna give him a treat or something. Okay, Elon, I see you, buddy. So, today we're talking about dogs. Dogs, and more dogs. How did we get dogs? When did they get here? How do you train them? Are they easy? Are they hard? The effect of dogs on popular culture. Is a dog even right for you? So, we're going to take a look at all these things. Special guest today is King. Look, we'll get him alert here with a couple of treats. Look at this. This guy's here. He's ready for the ride. He's ready. He's ready. So let's see. Let's jump in here. All right. So we're looking at dog. We call them pooches. You know, the dog or domesticated dog, Canis familiaris, or Canis lupus familiaris, is a domesticated descendant of the wolf. The dog is derived from an ancient extinct wolf, and the modern wolf is the dog's nearest living relative. The dog was the first species to be domesticated by hunter-gatherers over 15,000 years ago. It says before the development of agriculture, due to their long association with humans, dogs have expanded to a large number of domestic individuals and gain the ability to thrive on a starch-rich diet that would be inadequate for other canids. Now that's very interesting. So we're looking at dogs. You know, your people see dogs at the local pet store. You see your little pooches. So you're like, oh, well, this is a dog. But it's like the dogs have been selectively bred over millennia for various behaviors, sensory capabilities, and physical attributes. So then you're looking at dogs. We're saying, well, where did it come from, really? It says the dog, Canis lupus familiaris, domestic mammal of the family Canid, order Carnivora, is a subspecies of the gray wolf, Canis lupus, and is related to foxes and jackals. The dog is one of the most ubiquitous and most popular domestic animals in the world. The cat is the other. For more than 12,000 years, it has lived with humans as a hunting companion, protector, object of scorn or adoration, and friend. The dog evolved from the gray wolf into more than 400 distinct breeds. Humans have played a major role in creating dogs that fulfill distinct societal needs. So, you're looking at that, you say, the societal needs. They're saying, and this is over on the History Cooperative, they're saying archaeological evidence and DNA analysis makes the Bonn Oberkassel dog the first undisputed example of a dog. The remains, a right mandible, the jaw, were discovered during a ballast quarrying in Oberlass, Germany in 1914. First mistakenly classified as a wolf, the Bonn Oberkassel dog was buried with two humans around 14,220 years ago. That's a long time ago. That's a really long time ago. So let's go over here and we're going to look at a brief history of dogs.
Since their emergence over 200,000 years ago, modern humans have established homes and communities all over the planet. But they didn't do it alone. Whatever corner of the globe you find Homo sapiens in today, you're likely to find another species nearby, Canis lupus familiaris. Whether they're herding, hunting, sledding, or slouching, the sheer variety of domestic dogs is staggering.
Yeah,
But
it
what
is.
makes the story of man's best friend so surprising is that they all evolved from a creature often seen as one of our oldest rivals, Canis lupus, or the gray wolf.
Gray wolf.
When our Paleolithic ancestors first settled Eurasia roughly 100,000 years ago, wolves were one of their main rivals at the top of the food chain.
Whoa.
Able to exert over 300 pounds of pressure in one bone-crushing bite and sniff out prey more than a mile away, these formidable predators didn't have much competition. Much like human hunter-gatherers, they lived and hunted in complex social groups consisting of a few nuclear families and used their social skills to cooperatively take down larger creatures.
Wow.
Using these group tactics, they operated as effective persistence hunters, relying not on outrunning their prey, but pursuing it to the point of exhaustion. But when pitted against the similar strengths of their invasive new neighbors, wolves found themselves at a crossroads. For most packs, these burgeoning bipeds represented a serious threat to their territory. But for some wolves, especially those without a pack, human camps offered new opportunities. Wolves that showed less aggression towards humans could come closer to their encampments, feeding on leftovers. And as these more docile scavengers outlasted their aggressive brethren, their genetic traits were passed on, gradually breeding tamer wolves in areas near human populations. Over time, humans found a multitude of uses for these docile wolves. They helped to track and hunt prey, and might have served as sentinels to guard camps and warn of approaching enemies. Their similar social structure made it easy to integrate with human families and learn to understand their commands. Eventually, they moved from the fringes of our communities into our homes, becoming humanity's first domesticated animal.
Whoa.
The earliest of these proto-dogs, or wolf dogs, seem to have appeared around 33,000 years ago, and would not have looked all that different from their wild cousins. They were primarily distinguished by their smaller size and a shorter snout full of comparatively smaller teeth. But as human cultures and occupations became more diverse and specialized, so did our friends.
Yeah.
Short, stocky dogs to herd livestock by nipping their heels. Elongated dogs to flush badgers and foxes out of burrows. Thin and sleek dogs for racing. And large, muscular dogs for guard duty. With the emergence of kennel clubs and dog shows during England's Victorian era, these dog types were standardized into breeds, with many new ones bred purely for appearance. Sadly, while all dog breeds are the product of artificial selection, some are healthier than others. Many of these aesthetic characteristics come with congenital health problems, such as difficulty breathing or being prone to spinal injuries.
Ooh.
Humanity's longest experiment in controlled evolution has had other side effects as well. Generations of selection for tameness have favored more juvenile and submissive traits that were pleasing to humans. This phenomenon of selecting traits associated with youth is known as neoteny and can be seen in many domestic animals. Thousands of years of coevolution may even have bonded us chemically. Not only can canines understand our emotions and body language, but when dogs and humans interact, both our bodies release oxytocin, a hormone commonly associated with feelings of love and protectiveness. It might be difficult to fathom how every Pomeranian, Chihuahua, and Poodle are descended from fierce wolves. But the diversity of breeds today is the result of a relationship that precedes cities, agriculture, and even the disappearance of our Neanderthal cousins. And it's heartening to know that given enough time, even our most dangerous rivals can become our fiercest friends.
That music is killing me.
Have you ever wondered how dogs see with their noses? Or if they experience pain the same way we do? Learn more about our brilliant best buddies with these animations.
Wow. That's wild. It's actually wild. It's actually very wild. So when you come back to the history of dogs, you see here that they say theories suggest that dog in fact may be older. For example, many experts agree dogs started to separate from wolves around 16,000 years before the present in southeastern Asia. So they're saying a while ago. I'm talking about not a while. I'm talking about 30,000 years. You heard he said 33,000. 30,000 years ago, these dogs were around interacting. So let's look at that.
It was the summer of 2018 in Siberia, and a patch of permafrost near the Inda-Yurka River had melted enough to uncover the body of a 2-month-old puppy. After its almost perfectly preserved remains were discovered, scientists determined that the puppy was an astonishing 18,000 years old. The frozen animal was nicknamed Dogor, not only the word for friend in the local language, but also a clever play on words. Is it a dog or something else? And despite its age, it still had most of its fur, teeth, and even a cute little nose preserved. But while Dogor was in really good condition for a nearly 20,000-year-old pup, scientists were unable to confirm what species it belonged to. Was it a dog, or was it a wolf, or was it something in between? Dogor comes from the period of time when scientists think wolves were becoming domesticated, so knowing whether it was a wolf or a dog could help us better understand the specific time and maybe even the place the domestication occurred. Because there's still a lot we don't know about how wolves went from fairy tale villains to our canine companions. Like, when did they first become domesticated, and where did this happen? And what did the process look like in terms of genetics and anatomy? We're still figuring out the details, but most scientists agree that it took thousands of years of interactions to develop our deep bond with these good boys and girls.
I believe it.
Modern dogs, like my good friend Abby here, belong to the subspecies known as Canis lupus familiaris.
Yeah.
And we can trace their origins back to a now extinct species of wolf from the Pleistocene, an ancestor they share with the modern gray wolf called Canis lupus. But the exact species of this ancestor is still unknown. While some potential ancestral wolf species, like the extinct species from which the Taimyr wolf, a specimen discovered in northern Siberia, is from, have been identified, genetic analysis has shown that they're not direct ancestors to what would become Canis lupus familiaris. What we can say from studies of dog and wolf genomes is that wolves and dogs began to genetically diverge from each other sometime between about 40,000 and 27,000 years ago.
Wow.
And figuring out the exact timing is tough because it looks like the split happened over a very short period of time, and there was probably interbreeding between domestic dogs and wild wolves along human migration routes. So dogs still looked pretty wolf-like at the start of domestication. It's also complicated because these two species diverging genetically isn't necessarily the same thing as domestication. One's just a split in the gene pool, while the other is the whole behavioral and genetic process that humans were involved in. But one of the key genetic traits wolves and modern dogs share that has been really strongly selected for in modern dogs seems to be hypersociability, which is the tendency for adult animals to initiate social contact even with members of other species. And for some wolves, this tendency, along with other behaviors like scavenging for food, could have made them a better fit for eventual domestication.
Yeah, he's looking at
These
the
traits
dog.
also would have been useful as human settlements became more widespread, with resources that these canines definitely would have wanted. This is known as the commensal pathway to domestication, where an animal benefits from a relationship with humans, but there's little to no benefit for the humans themselves. Well, at least at first. In this case, proto-dogs were drawn to the discarded human food, which also likely attracted other animals that they could have preyed on too. And there seems to be some evidence that this was probably happening around 28,500 years ago. A new paper published in 2020 was able to distinguish between two different types of canids from a site in the Czech Republic based on the microscopic wear on their teeth. One group had wear that better matched a diet with more meat in it, while the other group had wear that suggested they'd been chomping on harder, more brittle foods, things like bone. And the researchers think the difference means that the bone-chewing group was hanging around this human settlement more and eating their scraps. Eventually, humans realized that wolves, once domesticated, could be useful. They could be guards, work with hunters, and even help with the domestication of other livestock species. And after that, wherever humans went, their canine companions followed.
Yep.
In fact, we can actually track the spread of agriculture
Canine
through a particular
companion.
genetic adaptation in dogs. In 2013, scientists were able to isolate the gene associated with the change from the carnivorous diet of wolves to a more starchy diet in dogs.
My kid
Domestic
sits
dogs
like a
have more
kid.
copies of the gene known as AMY2B than wolves do. AMY2B codes for an enzyme that's secreted by the pancreas that breaks down starch. An increase in starch consumption
he's
in
spoiled.
people
Look at
is
him. This
often
what he
associated
wants.
with agriculture, like
Spoiled
growing wheat
brat.
and rice. And domesticated dogs living in human settlements would have been fed the kinds of things that people were eating too.
Yep.
Along
Table
with the
scraps.
difficulties in figuring out when dogs were domesticated, there's also been some debate about whether it happened once or more than once.
See, we
like
don't even
cats,
know.
dogs were once thought to have been domesticated twice, because in
Oh.
2016, researchers showed that the genetic divergence between European and Asian dogs seemed to happen after dogs were found in those areas, suggesting domestication happened in both Europe and Asia. However,
Ah.
another study from 2017 suggests that dogs may have only been domesticated once. This research on the genomes of two really old dog specimens from Germany shows that this might have happened as far back as 20,000 to 40,000 years ago. One set of dog remains was 7,200 years old, and the other was
Wow.
4,700 years old. And by
Wow.
comparing them to modern wolves and dogs, scientists were able to find that they both had between 70 to 80% of European ancestry within their genetic makeup. And this
Wow.
study
So
found a
dogs
much
are
older
made
date
as
for the genetic divergence
European.
between European and Asian dogs than the 2016 study did, old enough to suggest that domestication happened just one time. So it
Wow.
seems there was one continuous lineage of domesticated dogs, instead of two separate domestication events. While we're still figuring out when all this took place and how it happened, it didn't seem to take that long before people were deeply attached to their pups.
Exactly.
And we can see this bond in the archaeological record with burials. Across Europe, Asia, Africa, and North America, dog burials can be found spanning the late Pleistocene to the mid-Holocene epoch. What makes these dog burials special is that many of them were treated and deposited in ways that are really similar to how humans are buried. This implies that these dogs were seen as very close companions even in death. For example, the remains of a male dog were recovered by archaeologists at a 9,000 or so year old cemetery in Siberia, alongside other artifacts like a spoon made from a large antler. This dog was an
Wow.
older adult with evidence of wounds that were partially healed by the time he died, showing that he had been cared for during his life. An analysis of the chemistry of one of his vertebrae showed that his diet included both terrestrial and aquatic resources, similar to the diets of the people at the site. This might
Wow.
mean that these dogs and humans lived in close proximity, even sharing food. We also see mixed burials in some cultures, where both dogs and humans were laid to rest together. In
Yep.
fact, the earliest known burial of a dog, a puppy, that was buried around 16,000 years ago in
Von
Germany, was
Overcastle.
actually found alongside
that.
two human bodies. Dogs were
Yeah.
also buried alongside their humans in Egypt, where dogs were often used in hunting and guarding. This may have been the case for a mummified dog found in a tomb at the Valley of the Kings, which may
Wow.
have been a favorite hunting dog of
A
one of the
mummy
rulers buried
dog.
nearby.
A mummy dog.
Over thousands of years, domestication created
Wild.
both physical and genetic changes in
That's
dogs.
wild.
While many early dogs looked pretty similar to each other, new breeds were developed to meet a variety of human needs, and
Yeah.
coat colors and textures became more diverse. Many of these changes can be traced to the crossbreeding and hybridization of individual dog populations, as humans moved around the planet with their canine companions and came across new groups of canids. Today, there are hundreds of dog breeds, and most of them aren't actually that old. They came about because of the introduction of dog shows during the Victorian era in Britain. So
Dog
dogs were originally
shows.
drawn to our ancestors for food, but they eventually bonded with us, working and living alongside us for thousands of years. And this bond continued even after death, based on the archaeological record of human and dog burials. But the origins of this relationship are still more complicated than scientists originally thought, with new discoveries changing the history of dog domestication all the time. And we're still waiting to find out the DNA results of Dogwar, that 18,000-year-old puppy from Siberia. The
Wow.
hope is that it can shed some light on the early days of domestication. But at the very least, we can say that dogs have been our species' best friend for a very, very long time.
That is true. That is very true.
Gotta give a quick shout out to David Howe, the ethnocynology guru, for making sure we had our pups in a row. Big high fives to
Good
this
stuff.
month's positively awesome
stuff.
eontologists Patrick Seifert, Jake
looking
Hart,
good,
John
people.
Davidson Ing, Sean Dennis, Constantine Hassa, and Steve. All pledge levels have access to our Discord. So come
So that gives us a look into how dogs from the beginning became our friends. Now, there's advantages and disadvantages to everything. These dogs have become an integral part of human life, human culture. So, what I'm saying is, what do? We look at how they become a part of our culture. We look at how they've become a part of not only the media and the movies, but everything to clothes and everything else. So how? What do we do? Dog breeding. This is how it came about. They said it was because of dog shows, and we'll get to that. So dog breeding is the practice of mating selected dogs with the intention of maintaining or producing specific qualities and characteristics. When dogs reproduce without such human intervention, their offspring's characteristics are determined by natural selection. All natural. While dog breeding refers specifically to the artificial selection of dogs in which dogs are intentionally bred by their owners. So they're trying to make maintaining or producing specific qualities and characteristics in dog breedings. That's what they're trying to do. We're trying to maintain that. Like that is what they're trying to keep. There's different types of dogs. So many different types of dogs, actually. My dog is half pit, half lab. He's a mixed breed. And there has been such an uptick in dogs and everything dogs that it even has come to how much the dog breeding industry's worth. $2 billion. Like, 2 billion. 2 billion, like $2 billion. It's down 2.4%. So it's not a large decline, but that's a lot of money. 2 billion. And that's in the U.S. 2 billion in the U.S. That's crazy. That number is crazy to me. Like that number's $2 billion. That's a lot. Okay. So they're saying dog breeders can get an average wage of $35,700 per year. So they're saying 6 litters. It is how much a dog breeder's business can make depends on the quality of its dogs and how many litters it breeds in a year. So it says a high-end breeder may have just 4 litters a year, but sell their dogs for $2,500 each. If each litter has 6 dogs, the business would have an annual revenue of $60,000. But there's vet bills, there's things. It's not just you get a dog, you breed a dog, you have the dogs. It's a lot more involved than that. There's advantages and disadvantages of a dog. So let's look at that.
There are a lot of advantages to owning a dog. Studies show that many reasons have to do with our physical and mental health. Advantage number 1. Dogs are man's best friend. Dogs never complain.
Yeah.
They shower you with unconditional love. They seem to know when you are down.
They do.
Number 2. You can lose weight. You get daily exercises by taking your dog for walks.
Yeah, that's true.
Number 3. You'll be a better person. Because dogs give unconditional trust and love, they bring out the best in their owner.
Okay.
Number 4. You will never be lonely.
Right.
When you have a dog, there is always a companion to talk to when you have a
True. I
stressful
can always
day.
talk to my dog.
Number 5. You will be happier. Dogs wag their tail, get their toys, or jump around when they think you need cheering up.
Yeah.
Number 6. A healthier heart. Studies have found that people have lower blood pressure and lower cholesterol when they own a pet.
Oh.
Number 7. You will get better sleep. People tend to sleep better when they have a dog. Maybe it's feeling protected. or the companionship.
Oh,
Number 8.
wow.
Enjoy a better social life. Dog parks are a great place to meet other like-minded people. Not to mention pet stores and pet-friendly cafes. Number 9. Pets lower instances of allergies in kids. Studies found homes with pets caused kids to have fewer allergies. Things that make our bodies work harder, make us stronger. Number 10. Fewer doctor visits. Studies also show elderly people who
I
own pets
believe that.
visit the doctor
I believe elderly
30%
people who own
less.
animals don't have to go and
Number
get sick
11.
as
Pets
often.
act as alerts for some disease.
Oh,
Dogs
yeah.
can detect some
This is true.
diseases
My
or
dog can do
illnesses in
this.
humans. For
Uh-huh.
instance, many dogs can detect low sugar levels in diabetics. Number 12. Dogs discourage crime. A barking dog will always make a burglar look for a
That's
different
kind of
house.
true, though. You always see
Dogs
that
are a big
chihuahua on the window going
responsibility, and
crazy.
there are disadvantages too. Disadvantage number 1. Many dogs shed their fur. Some dogs shed a lot.
Yeah,
But the amount of shedding depends on the breed.
that's true.
Number 2. You must train your dog.
Yeah.
Some dogs are easy to train while some are difficult. That, again, depends on the breed.
Yeah.
Number 3. Dogs need grooming. Regular baths are important to keep your dog clean and pest-free.
True.
A visit to a professional groomer
Grooming
costs
your
extra
dog
but
is
saves
important.
time.
Cleaning, nails,
Number
all
4.
that.
House training puppies. A pup will poop anywhere if it is not
Oh,
properly
yeah.
trained or created when you are away.
Oh,
Number
man.
5. Dogs take time. Food, water, exercise. Dogs need daily care or they can get sick or misbehave.
That's true, too.
Number 5. Dog care costs a lot.
That's
The
true.
cost of a dog must include vet visits for vaccinations and preventative medicine.
Yes, take care of your
Otherwise,
animals.
you will incur higher costs down the road.
You
I
gotta
think
take
the
care of your
benefits
animals.
of owning a dog far outweigh the disadvantages. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for watching our video.
You've got to think about it. Like, a dog isn't just, they're like a child. It's like having a kid, you know? And they're annoying sometimes. And they do what they want sometimes. And it's just like, it just ends up being a child forever. But one thing that has happened is the world has changed. They were introduced dog shows. That's where all these different breeds of dogs started coming from. Dog shows, believe it or not. And at these dog shows, they do, they compare dogs, different breeds. They do best in class. They look at the physical structure and see if it falls in line. So let's look at what some of these dog shows are. World's biggest dog shows. So dog shows are fantastic exhibitions where canine lovers present their pets to judges and spectators alike, with the possibility of some lucrative prizes to be won, along with the immense pride of owning a contest-winning dog. While numerous dog shows are held all over the world, there are a select few which are held in the highest regard among the dog-loving community worldwide. Perhaps the most prominent of these biggest dog shows is Crufts, which dates back to 1891 and featured more than 24,000 dogs in its most recent staging. That's a lot of dogs. 24,000? The show invariably attracts a massive audience for the BBC, who have held the broadcasting rights for almost 70 years, and in more recent times has garnered a massive online following from its live YouTube streaming. 24,000 dogs in its most recent show. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, world's biggest dog shows. This infographic is provided by Greyhounds as Pets. So, 1891, Crufts. Wow. First show had 2,437 entrants and 36 breeds of dog. Wow. The Best in Show prize was first awarded in 1928. In 1950, Crufts was first televised by the BBC. And in 61, the number of entries broke the 15,000 mark. That's a lot of dogs, too. Just like 15,000 animals in the same place. In 2009, Crust was streamed online for the first time and became the most watched channel on YouTube in the UK. Wow. Best in Show 2017, Miami, the American Cocker Spaniel. Ooh. Numbers of entries in 2017, 24,263. Wow. Breed with the most wins is the English Cocker Spaniel. Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show started in 1877. 1,201 dogs entered the first show at Gilmore's Garden, which would later become Madison Square Garden. Woo. Best in Show was awarded for the first time in 1907. The winner was a smooth fox terrier named Warren Remedy. That's a raw name. She won it 3 years in a row. Is still only the dog to win it 3 times. Dang. I'm gonna have to look up what that dog looks like. The show was televised for the first time in 1948. The 2005 event marked the first time when Madison Square Garden was completely sold out for both days of the dog show. Wow. Wire Fox Terrier has the most wins as a breed. Number of entries in 2017, 2,874 dogs completed. Best in Show 2017, German Shepherd, rumor has it. The World Dog Show, 1971. The dog show is held in a different country every year. Wow. The show places a great deal of importance on rare and unusual dog breeds. Now that's pretty crazy. By 1985 show in Amsterdam, Netherlands, over 10,000 dogs entered the competition. The top title at the event is the Certificat d'Aptitude au Wow Championat International de Buat. I can't even say that word. CACIB. Some argue that a win at the World Dog Show is more prestigious than a win at the Westminster Dog Show. Wow. Black Russian Terrier. Now that's a beautiful dog. Fine Lady Z Zoltogograda. 19,295 competed in 2016. The breed with the most wins is a Saluki. 4 wins. Okay, American Kennel Club National Championship. So the AKC National Championship. This was started in '01. This show is held every December or January in the United States. The first winner of the show was a Bison Freeze called JR. The 2016 event was held in a 1 million square feet of event space. Do you know how much space that is? Last year, the largest number of entries were from golden retrievers, with 141 participating. That's a lot of golden retrievers. After several years of not being televised, the Hallmark Channel in America broadcast the 2016 event in January 2017. Breed with the most wins is a terrier, but it's 4 different breeds. Interesting. Number of entries in 2017, 4,710 dogs competed. Best in Show 26, Preston the Pooley. National Dog Show started 2001. The show is held by the Kennel Club of Philadelphia, one of the founding clubs of the AKC. In 2002, NBC Sports started televising the show, and was rebranded as the National Dog Show. The show is televised every Thanksgiving in America on NBC. Winners have the chance to be invited to compete at Crufts, and we went over Crufts. Number of entries in 2016 was 1,798. That's not a lot, actually. Breed with the most wins, Wire Fox Terrier. Only 2 wins, though. Man, that Wire Fox Terrier got to be banging. Best in Show 2016, Gia the Greyhound. Ooh, nice. Look at my baby over here all in my way. How do dog shows work? The role of the judge examines the dogs and place them based on how each dog compares with how they're described in the breed's official standard. Judges are experts in the breed they are judging and will examine a dog's teeth, muscles, bone, and coat texture closely. Wow. An exhibitor is someone who brings a dog to a show and shows it in the appropriate class. Handler, the person who takes a dog into the show ring. Gait, based on how a dog's move, is a strong indicator of the dog's structure and condition. Soundness, the mental, physical well-being of a dog. Well-being of a dog. Stacking, posing a dog's legs and body to create a pleasing structure or a pleasing picture. Huh. Groom, the process of making a dog's coat neat. Heel, an instruction to keep the dog close to his handler. Angulation, angles created by bones meeting at a dog's joints. Wow. 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 They got tips for spectators and tips for first time exhibitor. Handling classes. Make sure your dog is up to date with it. With all their inoculations. So, dogs have become a part of popular culture. They've dog shows, everything. So let's even move over here. They have films. Let's talk about dog films. Let's talk about they're so ingrained in culture. There's films about dogs and there's dogs in films. Hear me out. Some of these movies you've seen. Some of these movies you love. Everybody loves a feel good flick. Everybody loves the dog in the movies that saves the day. And some of these are true stories. Now, some of my favorite. 8 Below is not a bad movie. A Dog's Purpose? I haven't watched it, but I probably should. Isle of Dogs, I've been meaning to catch that one. Now, let's go somewhere classic. This is when I was a kid. Balto, right here. That is a great movie. It didn't make that much at the box office, but it's a great movie. 7.1 stars. Marley and Me, I've seen that. Call of the Wild, that's a new one I got to check out, actually. That's the one with Harrison Ford. That's probably a really good one. Then my dog, Tulip. Lassie, classic. We know Lassie. Lady and the Tramp, that's classic. We can't do nothing about that. Snow Dogs with Cuba Gooding Jr. I like that movie. It's funny. Best in Show. I've been meaning to watch that. And then, of course, we know Beethoven. Beethoven second. My Dog Skip. We've even got our animated dogs. We go into animation. Both. So, 101 Dalmatians. Truly a classic. 102 Dalmatians. Classic as well. So, these are movies that dogs are in, or the movies that are about dogs. They become so popular, they even gross money at the box office. You know what I'm saying? We got doggy stars. Treated very well. But some of these movies have changed lives. I mean, there's a couple that we didn't get to as well. Like Homeward Bound, that's one of my favorites by far. Homeward Bound. Definitely one of my favorites. So, they say the archaeological record of the domestication of dogs has been unclear for much of the modern area. What they're basically saying is they are not 100% sure where it came from, when it occurred, or how it occurred, because there's no record really. We know what they've evolved from, or come from, or broken off from, or genetically changed from, but we do not know exactly when this occurred, and I don't think they ever really will. So, when you're on that level, you just take it at faith. There are companions now. It happens somewhere between, like it says right here, 20,000 to 40,000 years ago. Let's just go with that. Let's just go with that. Now, they're talking about we have all these different breeds and the difference between a wolf and a dog and how their muscular and facial structure is different. And this is Vassar, pages at Vassar, so Vassar University. So we're going to look at these different breeds because these domestication of dogs was a passive one that as a result of tamer wolves becoming increasingly dependent on humans to survive. So they're saying that when the wolves, like what we watched on the PBS video, when the wolves realized that they had someone who hunted like them, as smart as them, it was actually a challenge, they, well, near areas with humans, became increasingly tamer, I would say, over time. They began to, when watching the humans and being close to the humans, they were able to assess that they could be useful more than fight, if that makes any sense. Animals are smart, very, very smart. So let's take a look at the top 10 dog breeds. And which breed could be right for
Owning
you?
a dog is a responsibility to be taken seriously, so taking the time to research and ask yourself questions to decide what suits your lifestyle is an important step towards becoming a dog owner. In this video, we will analyse and review the top 10 most popular dog breeds and explain which dog breed is right for you and your lifestyle.
I'm trying to see.
And wait until you hear what we have to tell you about mutts or mixed breeds. It's a lot more surprising than you may think.
No.
The German Shepherd.
Yeah.
As herding dogs in the past, German Shepherds would guide, herd and protect livestock. As pets, these herding instincts motivate German Shepherds to act as protectors for their owner, family and children. Because of this, German Shepherds may sometimes act a bit distant or aloof. They will love you and your family, but they may give all new people the stink eye. Don't worry though, they are just looking out for you and your family's safety. German Shepherds are loyal and intelligent, and they respond extremely well to training. These dogs need daily strenuous exercise. The very energy that allows German Shepherds to be police, search, guide and herding dogs is often the reason these dogs are surrendered. If you're looking for a couch potato, you may want to consider a different breed. German Shepherds have a double coat, which enables them to tolerate both cold and hot weather. But remember, these pups shed heavily and frequently. They even lose all their undercoat twice a year in the spring and fall. The Golden Retriever. Golden Retrievers are one of the most popular dog breeds, and there are many good reasons for that. These dogs are loyal, active family dogs. They love to be around people. They need interaction with their families and any family friends. They also love to be social with other dogs, meaning occasional trips to the dog park is great exercise for them. Goldens love to swim or play a game of fetch because they were originally developed to work with hunters to locate and retrieve quarry. Unfortunately though, if you're looking for a dog that will protect your family in the event of a break-in, a Golden is not a good choice. They will joyfully welcome intruders with a wagging tail and a slobbery tongue. On the other hand, many families are not looking for a guard dog, but rather a new family member. Golden Retrievers love to be where you are, doing what everyone else is. If your kids have friends over, you are likely to never have to worry about aggression towards a new face. Instead, they are likely to be excited to meet a new friend. When it comes to energy levels though, Golden Retrievers do need a decent amount of exercise. Be prepared to groom your Golden often. These pups shed frequently and heavily. The Labrador. Much like the Golden Retrievers, Labrador Retrievers were developed originally to work closely with hunters. Today, Labs still love to hunt and enjoy other field activities, including a game of fetch. Labs are wonderful pets for families and children, and they play nicely with other dogs. Labs are so obedient and kind that they often serve as therapy dogs for the sick and the blind. Remember though, that Labs are a large breed and therefore require plenty of regular, vigorous exercise in order to stay healthy and fit. Just like Golden Retrievers, Labs are notorious shedders and have a double coat which needs routine maintenance and grooming.
So if you got a house and you can't
Simply
need all
put,
that hair everywhere.
A double coat is a type of coat that consists of two layers, a dense undercoat full of short hairs and a top coat of longer hairs. The undercoat serves mainly to keep the dog protected from extreme temperatures, while the top coat helps to repel moisture and dirt. Dogs with a double coat shed a lot and require more work. The Beagle. Beagles are known for their excellent nose and their love to hunt. Their instincts to track are flawless. The second they catch a scent, they are locked in, and there is hardly a distraction from that unless you intervene. Gifted with their expert sense of smell, Beagles make great detectives, sniffing out illegal food or explosives at airports. As pets, Beagles are lovable, merry hounds who enjoy groups and children. They may follow their owners and stick to their sides, but without being overwhelming. One of the advantages to owning a Beagle is that they are a smaller dog with a shorter coat. If you are living in an apartment situation where you have a size limit, a Beagle will likely fit. But make no
Aw.
mistake, these pups
Beagles.
have tons of energy to burn off, which makes Beagles a wonderful breed of dog for any active family. And remember, Beagles are very stubborn and can be difficult to train. Their bark may be quite sharp and their howling may be more than one hoped for. Beagles have
She
a much
smacked
shorter coat, which means less shedding. The poodle.
Poodle.
Poodles, whether standard or miniature or toy in size, are easily recognized by their distinctive curly fur. However, such beautiful coats come at a hefty cost. Poodles of all sizes need to be brushed daily, and keeping the coat neat and attractive involves frequent trips to the groomer. If
Yeah.
not cared for properly, a poodle's fur can become matted and poorly conditioned.
Poodle.
Poodles are known to be smart, confident, and highly energetic. This dog is excellent with children, does everything possible to please its owner,
Poodle.
is loving and affectionate, and gets along incredibly well with other animals if introduced while young. Even better, due to their single fur, poodles shed very little and are therefore a good choice for owners who suffer from pet allergies. Poodles of
Shedding
any
is the
size
point.
require good exercise every day to
Man,
suit their high
poodles.
energy level. Most poodles love to get in the water, so swimming is great exercise for them. Unfortunately, though, poodles are susceptible to a number of health problems, including von Willebrand's disease, retinal atrophy, cataracts, skin problems, and allergies.
Wow, allergies
The
for
English
a dog.
Bulldog. In Great Britain, the English Bulldog was used for bull baiting, a blood sport where dogs were used to bait and attack bulls.
What?
Today, Bulldogs could not be more distant from their dangerous pasts. Bulldogs make cute and cuddly pets, staying loyal to their owners. They are friendly and easygoing as a house dog. One of the advantages to owning an English Bulldog is the calm and lazy temperament of the dog. No exercise requirements allow Bulldogs to be comfortable living in an apartment. If you like the idea of a dog that
they
runs to play
exercising
fetch
by
or can stay
walking.
beside you on a bicycle, then this isn't the breed for you. Bulldogs are expensive to purchase and prone to numerous health issues. Because of their flat face, they suffer from breathing difficulties, heart problems, and overheating.
Wow.
Bulldogs' unnatural proportions make them incapable of mating or giving birth without medical intervention.
Wow, that's
Bulldogs
interesting.
shed a moderate amount of hair. They drool often and tend to be gassy because of their body composition. These
drool.
dogs seldom bark, but that doesn't mean they aren't noisy. Bulldogs make a symphony of snorts and snores. These pups can act stubborn from time to time and are more difficult to train. The French Bulldog. French
Frenchies.
Bulldogs make excellent pets for city dwellers since they rarely bark, are small in size, and require minimal exercise. Much like the English Bulldog, Frenchies are predisposed to multiple health problems, such as breathing issues, allergies, hip
That
dysplasia, and eye diseases.
Wow.
Their flat face makes them unable to cool down in hot weather, and they need to be protected from heat stroke.
Yeah,
These
that's true.
gorgeous bat-eared creatures act great with children and don't require
Ooh.
much exercise.
Frenchies.
If you're kind of a lazy person who would rather spend time watching movies than go running, French Bulldogs will fit your personality. While English Bulldogs require brushing 2 to 3 times a week, Frenchies don't shed much, and one brushing per week is enough to keep their coat healthy and free of dead hair.
Wow.
Frenchies also have less wrinkles on their face than an English Bulldog, which means they require less folds cleaning. Much like English Bulldogs, though, French Bulldogs like to act stubborn from time to time. Slobbering, drooling, and gassiness are also common in these dogs.
Gassy. They
The
fart.
Rottweiler. One of the oldest
Rottweiler.
dog breeds, Rottweilers, are thought to have roots dating back to the Roman Empire. These working dogs were used to drive the herds and pull carts laden with butchered meat to the market.
Oh.
Rottweilers maintain their helpful nature today, often serving as guard dogs, police dogs, and the like. Due to their history as guard dogs, the Rottweiler will instinctively see itself as the guardian of the pack. This means that your Rottweiler may become very territorial of your home and family and will instinctively find it challenging to accept the presence of strangers or visitors. This requires significant amounts of training and socialization to resolve. Busy adults who do not have the time to commit to this demanding breed should not get a Rottweiler. Potential owners need to be prepared to spend considerable amount of time to exercise this dominant dog. Rottweilers may not be a great fit for you if you don't want to deal with drooling, gassiness, or legal liabilities such as public perception or insurance problems.
Right.
These pups' double coat sheds moderately, and Rottweilers are one of the most expensive dog breeds. The Siberian Husky. Huskies originated in Northeast Asia, where they are bred by the Chuchi people for sled pulling, guarding, and companionship. It is an active, energetic, resilient breed whose ancestors lived in the extreme cold and harsh environment of the Siberian Arctic.
Wow.
As born pack dogs, Siberians enjoy family life and get on well with other dogs. An attractive feature of the breed, Siberians are naturally clean, with little doggy odor and typically don't require many baths. Unlike other dog breeds that shed year-round, Huskies shed once or twice a year due to seasonal changes. If you think a Siberian Husky looks intimidating enough to make a loyal guardian, think again. This breed is very sociable and will befriend just about anybody, including the occasional burglar. The breed's stamina, extreme intelligence, and independent nature makes them very stubborn. This means that they require strict guidance, and the come command may be a challenge to train. Huskies have tons of energy and need plenty of regular exercise. They don't bark a lot. Instead, they howl. Pembrokeshire Welsh Corgis. These adorable, friendly creatures first originated in Wales as a dog breed to herd cattle and sheep.
I like
Today,
those,
these small
Huskies.
but mighty dogs are most popular as family pets, since their sweet, smart, and playful nature makes for an ideal companion. These pups may not be a good fit for cyclists, though, because Corgis' stumpy legs are too short to keep up with the fast pace of a bicycle. Corgis are often willing and eager to please, but they have a stubborn streak to them that can sometimes become problematic. Many people believe that exercise is not necessary for Corgis, but this is just not true. These herding dogs require a lot of exercise.
Dog
And
is
remember,
short to the ground.
Corgis are dense and heavy, and their belly gets dirty easily because they are so low to the ground.
I'm about to say, it looks like a
Mutts.
lower car.
A mixed breed dog, also known as a mutt, can make a great pet for you and your family. Many mutts come into the world as a surprise, born of a homeless stray or an unneutered house pet, and then sent away to the animal shelter. Adopting one of these unwanted dogs means you are literally saving a life, and the odds are they will make a great companion. These dogs tend to be less expensive and less prone to hereditary health conditions. This is because over generations, breeders have perpetuated and magnified genetic flaws in many of the popular pure breeds. Pugs, for example, are prone to respiratory problems because of their short nose. Mixed breed dogs are great athletes and have lots of personality. Even better, many are easy to train because they have a blend of characteristics rather than all of their traits from a single breed. These pups don't have the same extremes in temperament and behavior that some purebred dogs do. But remember, getting a mutt puppy means you don't know the exact mix of breeds that have come before that puppy. Like, you have no idea how small or large they'll become, or if they'll have a propensity towards certain behavioral issues.
That's what I'm saying. Top 10 dog breeds. Which breed is right for you? You're looking at what is a dog right for you? So, like I was saying, having a dog, it says, maybe you've heard dog owners say, having a dog is like having a child who never grows up. This statement often brings skeptical looks from people who have never shared their lives with a dog, but those who have know all too well. Yes, we do. Like children, dogs are completely dependent on their owners for all their needs. Food, water, medical attention, exercise, shelter, and most important, companionship. But unlike children, dogs will never learn to pour themselves a drink or fix their breakfast. Dogs never learn to look both ways before crossing the street. Well, King does. And they can't stop and ask for directions if they get lost. Now that would be funny. Stopping and asking for directions. Like, your dog walks up to you like, and starts pointing some way. Like, what? You can't even send them to the babysitter when you need a night off. Well, that's not necessarily true. If you got a good dog, you could probably find somebody to keep them for a day. Like, hey, you want to watch my dog? Oh, yeah, I'll take your dog. Look, people who decide to open their homes to a dog are choosing to change their daily lives and routines. For many, The years of companionship and unconditional love and devotion they receive from their dog far outweigh the daily responsibilities, but some lifestyles just make it impossible. It's like, what are you looking for you in a dog? Always consider qualities and personalities you want before size and appearance. I mean, I wanted a pit bull. I always have wanted pit bulls, and I got one. You know what I mean? It's like he's a mixed breed, but he's still a pit bull. He looks like a pit bull. He's a pit bull in a lab. It says you may be the perfect dog owner if you believe caring for a dog 15 years doesn't seem like a lifetime. Look at this child. Do you see what he's doing to me? He just laid all on top of me, pushed me out the way. Dang, King, bro. What are you doing, dude? Look, he's all in my way now. It's like Leva Playmate who likes to chase balls and drag off shoes. Want to take care of someone every day. They're they're ignorant. Why? Want someone to adore you even on a bad hair day? Who wrote this? Enjoy unconditional love and constant companionship. Want to keep it, want to keep an ID tag on your pets so they can always get back to you no matter what. Yeah, I mean that says you'll be the perfect dog owner. Don't mind sharing your house with someone who will never clean up after him or herself. Oh my, they are funny. They are real funny. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So it's like the dogs, the disadvantages of the dog, the advantages of the dogs. This is my dog. This is his brand, Doggy by King. Says, hello, I'm King, and this is Doggy by King. Since I was a puppy, my mom used to put little shirts and bandanas on me. I became very comfortable wearing clothes. You could even say I was happy. Then, bam, Dad decided I had to get a J-O-B. And this is what I picked. Yeah, I told him, you spending too much money, boy. You better go do something. I need some money here. He said, I'm a doggy adventurer with a cool dad and my own clothing line. Yeah, he think he cute. He got a couple of things here. You know, his little corner. He's got a couple of hoodies. Nah, he's going to bust out some more stuff soon. You can get to everything from his Instagram. That's our special guest, King, who wants to lay up sleep like a baby. I don't know, man. I don't know. He laid up sleep here. He is laid up. Look at this kid. Look at this kid, man. He is laid up sleep. But look at him. Look at those eyes. Look, this is him when he's awake. Look, he's actually like, it's your special guest time, and you just all over here being King. King. Dogs got movies. Dogs got clothes. Dogs got TV shows. Dogs got dog shows. And they used to be gray wolves. It's basically how the breaks down. Oh my gosh. We've come to the end of another episode of Reaction Time with Dave. Check those credits. Check the see those? Check those credits. Check them. Check them. Check them. And then this kid, look, the star of the show, the guest just wants to be all right, people. Have a good day. Really. But yeah, for real though. Check those credits. But have a good day.